Private Dowding by Wellesley Tudor Pole. Read for you by BlueFriend in beautiful BC. Part 3. The Messenger. 20th of March, 1917 at 8 p.m. Not long after Private Dowding's farewell visit, it began to dawn upon me that, as he could not return himself, he was trying to set up direct communication between the being whom he called the Messenger and myself. I have therefore held myself receptive in the hope of securing some further news of my friend. And I now set down the message that has reached me. I will reserve comment until later. Yes, I am the messenger, and am speaking to you at your friend's special request. WTP. May I ask a few questions? Messenger. I am here to answer them. WTP. Do you really see brighter times ahead for the human race? Messenger. My son, you need have no fear. Your world is now plunged in grief and chaos. The hour is dark, the outlook strangely gloomy. We can see the light behind the thunder clouds. Improvement in world conditions is already taking place despite the war. Few kings will be left in Europe, or for that matter, anywhere. Russia will lead her people towards peace and joyful emancipation. The illumination of a new day will be reflected in the soul of the Slavonic race and will become apparent everywhere. In time to come, the dawn will break over Germany and the northern peoples, sweeping before it the cruel darkness of ignorance and despotism. Tribulation will be great. Revolutions must be expected, but nothing can withstand the light. Vast changes lie ahead. Were I to tell you of these miracles, you would not credit them. We see regeneration in Persia. Note from Blue, Persia is Iran. Transformation in India. Uprisings in the Far East and new discoveries, revolutionary events in the New World, North and South. But the light will grow. France rises again purified, uplifted, and becomes the inspirer of the world in arts and sciences. Ireland comes into her own at last, and becomes a cradle for great men and women. England joins hands with many nations in raising the standard of unity and fellowship among the peoples of the world. She will be called upon to make immense sacrifice, east and west, but she grows to a new greatness through her acts of renunciation. Democratic republics will rule the world with free and peaceful intercourse between the nations. Peace does not yet come into her own, but the floodgates of God's love have been opened, and the divine power is for all nations. Fear not the breaking down of barriers everywhere. Make the paths straight. The Lord of Lords is destined to make a divine progress, and the ways must be prepared. WTP. Well, this is all very wonderful. How will this new spiritual radiance make itself manifest? Messenger, you are already witnessing its leavening power. The world is not in such darkness as it was even 5 years ago, and this despite the warring of the nations. The light dawns within individuals first, and then the radiance spreads. Outwardly, its influence will show itself in many great reforms. In time, the very air will become purer. Climates will improve. Disasters caused by earthquakes, sea and air will slowly diminish, but there will be cataclysms first. Conflicts between religions will cease the bitterness of the sects, and they will die away. Women will hold equal rights with men. Great women, inspirers of the race, will rise up in East and West. Diseases, physical, mental, political, social, will gradually disappear. This must sound incredible to you. Remember that a spiritual remedy is becoming available for human sins and discords. It will veritably prove the elixir of the new age and will be within reach of all mankind. The Christ Spirit will dwell among men with healing in its wings. WTP. Why do you tell me this? Messenger, eyes must be opened. Ears must be attuned to the message of the coming day. Knowledge of the joy and peace that lie ahead will help you through these days of sore distress. By a consecrated act of faith, bringing understanding and wholeness into your own life and the lives of those around you. WTP. Will the barriers between this world and the next be broken down? Messenger, the veils are already thinning. As the race becomes regenerated from within, all need for barriers will disappear, and death will lose its awful sting. The piercing of the veils must come about through spiritual and natural processes of mind and heart, and not through the employment of magic, ritual, or trance. WTP. Will a new religion become necessary? Messenger, the Spirit will re-illumine all religious faiths. The new religion will be one of service and fellowship and unity. WTP. And Egypt? Messenger, the great land of the pharaohs has still a part to play in the evolution of the race, but it may not be through British influence. There are vast preparations now being made for the enlightened progress of the whole Muslim world. WTP. How long will this take? Messenger, I am not a very high being, and to me are not revealed details of all these wonderful happenings. So far as I am allowed to see, peace will be re-established during 1919, although actual fighting may end in 1918. It will take many years to bring poise and peace into actual and permanent being. WTP. Who are you? Messenger, I am one of those commanded to direct the new illumination into the avenues leading down towards the hearts and minds of men. I greet and protect certain souls chosen for special work as they reach this shore. WTP. Was Thomas Dowding one of them? Messenger. We met by what you would call an accident. He's making quick progress, and his power of service to his fellow men will be great. It is often the most unexpected people who are chosen for important work. WTP. What about the Far East? Messenger. A great leader rises up in the time to come and will avert many dangers. This one is long expected and will bring about moral and social progress in China and elsewhere. The flames now visible between the Orient and the Northern Hemisphere of the New World will be transmuted, purified, and harnessed to fine ends. WTP. And America? Messenger. Her hour of tribulation is at hand. A splendid destiny will come into view, so long as material wealth remains the idol. So long will the light be held back. You must expect revolutions of a peculiar order at no distant date. WTP. May we return to Germany? Messenger. Already the world faintly perceives the probable progress of events in that land. Germany as an empire ceases to exist, but as a federation of independent states, her future and the ultimate well-being are assured. The days are still dark, but remember this: the greater the darkness of the night, the greater the brilliance of the dawn. WTP. And how are all these wonders to be brought about? Are we to expect prophets and teachers in our midst? Messenger. Great lamps will shine forth in east and west. The period of revelations is upon you. The light is for the whole race, but individuals must reflect it within themselves, that it may become readily available for all. Rise up and proclaim the dawn of the new day. You can all become prophets and seers in this new dispensation. The people that walked in darkness have seen a great light. They that dwell in the land of the shadow of death, upon them has the light shined. Physical birth and death are not forever. Generation and dissolution, as known to you, will be transformed, transfigured. Herein dwelleth the mystery that cannot yet be unveiled. The road to its unveiling is the pathway of spotless purity. WTP. Will your words be understood or believed? Messenger. The wonders soon to be revealed are such that the people's vision will become unclouded, and the sun's rays will shine through the minds and hearts of men and women. Then belief will become understanding. WTP. What about social evils and injustices and poverty and ignorance, lust and greed? Can all these become transmuted? Messenger. My son, have faith. Realize that the love of God is indeed all-powerful. The golden age will not be ushered in the twinkling of an eye, as it is thought by some. The law of evolution must be respected and cannot yet be overruled. Extremes of wealth and poverty will disappear. Yes, this is so. The war itself has become a celestial instrument, as you have already been told. Governments will become simpler, less unwieldy, localized, filled with the ideals of justice and brotherhood. The oneness of humanity, as emphasized by the great prophet who manifested last century, will become recognized, and as a result of this, vast reforms, social and ethical, will gradually be introduced throughout the world. WTP. What about food? Messenger. Grossness will disappear. The race will learn to live more simply on the blessed fruits and herbs and cereals. Unless the race learns this important lesson, it will be found that the earth cannot support the populations now inhabiting it. Overeating and overindulgence in the sense desires must cease. The inspiration of the spiritual in life will take away the domination of the grosser appetites. Set the example. Fight the good fight. Increase your faith. To the God-endowed man, all things are possible. WTP. Your utterances are so utopian that I fear it's impossible to secure a fair hearing for them. Messenger. Compare 1817 with 1917. Compare 1900 with 2000 AD. The latter comparison is only possible through the exercise of faith and vision. Much that I have foreshadowed will have become visible before the year 2000 AD. My son, I give you my blessing and wish you Godspeed. Note from WTP. I have set down these very utopian sentiments and prophecies exactly as they flowed through my pen, but although I am an optimist, I find it difficult to believe that the race is nearing the realization of all its ideals. The prophecies are interesting, despite their vagueness and extreme optimism. It is useless for me to do more than place these prophecies before my readers and allow time to set its seal of truth or falsity upon them. Certainly we live in strange times when all things are possible, when even the wildest dreams are being fulfilled before our very eyes. WTP, Bournemouth, 20th of March, 1917. End of Part 3.